What's up YouTube? It's your girl Leah and welcome back for another weekly video. Today I have a story time to share with you, and story times have been blowing up on YouTube all over, so I decided to share it with you guys. So as you read below, I am talking about me being psychic. On November 27, 2016, which was this year, I officially found out I was psychic, and yeah, it was a little crazy. And as I started to realize, I had so many memories flashing back to oh my gosh, this happened, that happened, how did I not know? And because I believe in magic and things like that, I'm one of those people who believe in those things, but I didn't believe that I was psychic. So here's a few stories to make up for a story time. So my first story is a few days before I found out I was psychic. I actually drew something. Yes, I draw a lot, and I'm obsessed with a show called Teen Wolf that airs on MTV. And I drew this picture. Here's some proof. I drew this picture. Let's see if it focuses. Yeah. I drew this picture, and as you can see on the picture, it says Malia got a D- in math, and it shows her with her claws on the paper. And if you guys are Teen Wolf fans, you would know that in the show, on the second episode and third episode of this new season, Malia gets a math paper, a math grade, and she gets a D-, and she has her claws out for the first time and scratches up her desk. And I felt like this, I drew this before that, and I didn't know that was gonna happen. That never happened in the show before, as far as I remember. That never happened in the show before. So I started oh, this is probably just coincidence, deja vu and stuff like that. But then as I looked into it more and more, there's so many times where I would think about things and it just happened. And yeah, there was this one time I was in elementary school, and also psychics can see paranormal things, but they're not mediums. There's two different categories for them. And I was in elementary school, and I was dropped a pencil on my desk, and everybody was sitting down in a group over there. And I went to go get my pencil, and I look at my chair, and I see this ghost. Well, I didn't think it was a ghost. I thought somebody was sitting in my chair. There was this boy that used to annoy me in elementary school, and I thought that was him. I was like, oh my god. And I said his name, and it was his feet and his legs in jeans and stuff. And I look up, and I see nobody there. And I start to freak out, and I tell my friends, and my friend, let's just say Lily told me, she's like, Aaliyah, calm down, you're fine. I'm like, no, I saw something. And I thought it was a ghost, but nobody believed me, so I just ignored it and threw that thought out the window. And then a few times before, I would see things in my house and stuff, and nobody else saw anything, but they were right there. So I was like, guys, can you guys see that? Nobody believed me. Sometimes I would hear voices in my head saying Aaliyah. Sometimes I'd hear this really long pitched, on the speakerphone when the teacher has that announcement on the PA system, and you get annoyed because it's just the noise and they don't say anything. Yeah, I keep hearing that in my head, and then I keep hearing people say my name. The other day in school, I was sitting down with my group of friends during lunch, and I kept hearing people saying Aaliyah, Aaliyah, and I kept turning around, and they're like, Aaliyah, what's wrong? I'm like, is somebody calling my name? Because my friends like to joke around a lot with me, and I felt like somebody was in my head, and I realized that nobody's calling me, and that it was just in my head, and I started to freak out and everything. And I decided that eventually I would just have to find out, and so I went online and I looked up, am I psychic? And I watched all these videos on YouTube. I did the BuzzFeed test and everything just to joke around, but then I would get the same results saying that I was psychic, and I was like, oh, these are just joking tests and stuff like that. So I eventually took our official test online, and it said the same thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm psychic. And I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I think I'm psychic. And she's like, oh Lord, Aaliyah. And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm psychic, and I decided that I should just go with my abilities and try to use them well. So that's what I'm doing. And I realized the more that I draw things, the more that I see. So I decided to do things like that. And I would draw a lot. Every time I see something in my head, I would draw like this eye. It's kind of creepy. But I would draw things that I see in my head, and eventually they would happen. My friend the other day, she was a girl, and she has an eye just like this, and she got her eye hurt, and her eye got hurt, and things like that happen. You know, it's kind of weird, but eventually, like, these stuff just happens. So yeah. So I went more research into it, and I saw a lot of people are psychic too. So I go in group chats, try to have people tell me things and how to use my abilities well and to help people. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. So that's my story time, guys. Hope you guys liked it. I have more story times, more things about my being psychic, and more, you know, things that happen with my family, adventures, things like that. So that will wrap up my story time today. If you guys want more talk about me being psychic, I have a lot of stories about that. I have more ghost stories when I see ghosts. Like, there was this time that I saw my grandfather who died before I was born, and we went to my dad's house that he grew up in, where my grandpa lived, and I saw him, and he was wearing these sandals, right? And I went to, we were in the car with my dad, and I'm like, Dad, I saw somebody in the house. I know it's a ghost. And he's like, I said, I think it's Grandpa. And he's like, was he wearing sandals? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, that's your grandfather, because your grandfather always wore those sandals in the house. And I was like, oh my gosh. So like, that's just type of things that got me to lead up to me think about us being psychic. But I could also think about people's feelings. I could feel how they are, and I feel the bad energy. So yeah, again, that's wrapping up. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that red button to your right, and make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And I will see you guys this Saturday for my cover for the holidays coming up. I'll be singing All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. So love you guys. Peace.